Joy Parnell, and I'm the student coordinator of chaplains at Emmanuel. And I'm here with BJ Harris, and I'm going to ask him a couple questions about some spiritual life. I'm going to start out with, I know that you spend a lot of time on the road, touring. Based on your travels, what trends concern you most about today's followers of Christ?
What trends concern me most? Oh, gosh. I talked a little bit about this earlier in the previous interview. I think sometimes we tend to believe that Christian is this label or this thing that we can, in a lot of our events we trouble with this because it's like they say the magic words or they repeat the magic prayer and presto, like magic, they become a Christian. That's just not the way it works. It's a commitment that they're committing to for the rest of their life. So to be a Christian isn't just to say a prayer or to say, yeah, I'll be a Christian and go to church on Sundays. It's to actually say, hey, I'm going to commit to following Jesus, which means I'm going to love the things that God loves and hate the things that God hates. And following Jesus is actually a walk of faith. You have to actually live the life and not just talk the talk, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
So that concerns me a lot. I want people to actually get that and follow Jesus the way they're supposed to be.
I agree. What trends excite you the most?
The fact that we are starting to care about some of the things that God cares about. Things like the environment is a big issue now. Things like loving the poor and taking care of widows and orphans, you know, all the stuff going on in Africa. Those are issues that were forgotten about for so long. And yet when Jesus was here on earth, that's the people he was serving and loving and hanging out with. So it really excites me to see that we're actually focusing on some of the right things again.
Yeah. Looking back at your college days, what was the most difficult adjustment for you?
Well, for me personally, probably just my schedule, because traveling so much and to experience genuine community sometimes was hard, I think, because, you know, I didn't live in the dorm because it didn't make sense, and because I was on the road so much and in and out with the curfews and everything involved because I went to a Christian college. And so for me, it was really hard to experience true community because I would make some friends, go on the road, you know, for like a few weeks, and then when I come back home, it's like all these friends, now they've had all these stories and experiences with each other, and I missed out on it, and so they're further along in their relationships than I was. So for me personally, it was just trying to get involved and make some strong friendships.
What keeps today's college students from accomplishing goals God has set for them?
It's a great question. I don't even know if I can answer that. There's so many students who have different challenges, I think. I know that when I was in college, there was a lot of stress. And I think just the pressure to constantly excel and that meet the expectations that you're surrounded by, for me, was very difficult.
So if you could give spiritual, relational, or academic advice to the students here at Emmanuel College, what would that be?
Yeah, talk to your Creator daily to make sure you guys are together. To remember that it's that relationship that matters, and so, you know, if you're going through that process of following Jesus and walking in the Spirit, then I think you'll stay in tune spiritually with where you need to be. In addition to spiritually, the other two you said were?
Relationally.
Relationally. You know, again, that's tough. It's a little bit easier since you're on campus, but remember that life is not meant to live alone, but it's meant to live in community. So I always tell people, a mentor used to tell me, you'll be the same person you are 10 years from now, with the exception of two things: the books you read and the people you hang out with. So if you can find those people to hang out with and they're really going to transform who you are, I think that's a definite must.
Do you have any advice for commuters who commute to the college, because we have a lot of those?
Yeah, you know, don't be afraid to get involved in some activities and be bold. I know, even though I'm a performer, sometimes I was shy and like, it's like, okay, I'm not around, I'm not in the dorm, so I've got to go to the basketball games and I've got to walk up and sit next to someone I don't know. And so for me, that was hard. So if you do commute and you're struggling and you're thinking, man, I just don't know if I can make friends or not, just be bold and go do it and go sit by someone and make some new friends. And if you're interested in them, they're going to be interested in you.
Yeah, that's good. Do you have any advice for the faculty and staff here at Emmanuel as it relates to the students?
You know, that's somewhat intimidating. It's hard for me, you know, in my position to give a professor advice. I respected my professors so much in college, but, you know, a good professor probably identifies with their students. They know where they're at in their journey, and we're all at a different spot in our journey. So to be able to not do what happens sometimes in some schools, which is, you know, just present material and that it kind of flatlines among the entire class, but just learn where each student is so that you can develop a relationship with them and teach them on their level and offer them stuff that meets them where they are in their journey. I think that's obviously beneficial.
Well, thank you very much for taking time to answer some questions today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.